Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnana-Jana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Vedigiri. Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Ninata. Hare Krishna. So welcome to our English Bhakti Shastri class. So today we are entering the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter entitled The Opulence of the Absolute, or in Sanskrit it is called the Vibhuti Yoga. So in the 9th chapter, Krishna concluded the chapter by informing Arjuna, and of course all of us, about how to perform bhakti. Yeah, Man Mana Bhav Mad Bhakti. The main center of our activities should be remembering Krishna. Yes, Matavya Satatam Vishnu. So 10th chapter entitled The Opulence of the Absolute. Krishna has already described devotional service, especially at the end of chapter 9. Yeah. To help generate further devotion in his devotee, Krishna now explains his opulence. In chapter 7 and 9, he has explained knowledge of his energy. Yeah. So of course, chapter 7 and 9 they have a lot of similarities, and both chapter describing about the demigod worship also, and Krishna, of course, toward the end of the both chapters explain the superiority of bhakti. So today's discussion will be till text number 11. We'll be covering two parts of discussion. The first one is that Krishna is the origin of everything, from text 1 to 7, and from text 8 to 11 we'll be describing about the Chatusloki of the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna explains his opulence more specifically and thereby reveals himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of all. So 1 to 3, Krishna is mysterious, origin of everything, and one who knows Krishna is free from sin. 4 to 7, Krishna is the origin of all qualities and personalities. Accepting his powers leads to surrender unto him. Okay, so this is text number 1. Chapter 10, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Bhuya eva mahabaho sinu me paramam vacha, yatte ham priyamanaya vakshyami hitakamyaya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again, O mighty Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that this is better than what I have already explained. Srila Prabhupada explained, the more one hears about the Supreme God, the more one becomes fixed in devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotees. That will enhance one's devotional service. Their discourses in the society of devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada is making clear point here that Krishna Katha can take place only in the association of devotees. Yeah. And here Krishna mentioned that he will tell Arjuna, something which is better than whatever he has described further. So we may think that in the 9th chapter, Krishna already concluded the chapter by mentioning Man Mana Bhav Mad Bhakto. Why Krishna mentioned here to Arjuna that he will inform Arjuna better knowledge than whatever he has described before. So the explanation here is that Krishna just wants to catch the attention of Arjuna. Yeah. So actually in this section, in any chapter, toward the end, Krishna will always speak about a devotional service. So here Krishna mentioned Priyamanaya. It means you are dear to me. So this is one of Arjuna's qualification why Krishna revealed himself, reveal the most secret knowledge. Yeah, hitakamyaya means for your benefit. So Krishna, the unknowable, revealed himself to Arjuna because of these two things. So there are two reasons why Krishna revealed himself to Arjuna. First, Arjuna is Bhakto Simesaka Cheti as it is described in the chapter 4. And second one is that for the benefit of Arjuna himself. Yeah. Text number 2, Name Vidusragana Prabhavam Na Maharsayaha Aham Adir Hidevana Maharshinam Cha Sharvasva. So Krishna mentioned here that he is the source of all demigods. Neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Even the demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna. They can understand neither his name nor his personality. So what is the position of the so-called scholars of this tiny planet? No one can understand why the Supreme God comes to earth as an ordinary human being and executes such wonderful, uncommon activities. So Krishna in the chapter 7 already mentioned that Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedanagashan. So Krishna says, mam tu vedanagashan. No one knows me. So including great demigods and great sages, sometimes they are bewildered by Krishna's wonderful activities. For example, like even Brahma himself, the first created being in the universe, is bewildered by Krishna. And what to speak of ordinary human being who try to speculate about Krishna's position. One should know then that scholarship is not a qualification necessary to understand Krishna. Yes, that's true. Scholarship, so-called intelligent, sharp brain, that's not the qualification to understand Krishna. Yeah. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyo name dayana bhavina shrutina. Krishna mentioned that one cannot understand me simply by having sharp brain. Yeah. Bahuna shrutena, learning the Vedas for many years. Atma pravachanena, nor simply by becoming an elaborate, eloquent speaker, one can understand Krishna. So it's only through bhakti, bhakti mama vicharati. Because most men cannot understand Krishna in his actual situation. Out of his causeless mercy, he descends to show favor to such speculators. Yet, despite of the Supreme Lord's uncommon activities, these speculators, due to contamination in the material energy, still think that the impersonal Brahman is the Supreme. Text number 3. Yomamajamanadim cha veti loka maheshwaram ashamudam sa martyeshu sarva papai pramuche. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. So the secret here is that to understand Krishna, one has to develop bhakti. Once one develop bhakti, so automatically he's free from sins. Yeah. So understanding Krishna and free from sins, actually there are two correlated, connected. Sri Krishna is therefore different from everything that is created, and anyone who knows him as such immediately becomes liberated from all sinful reactions. One must be liberated from all sinful activities to be in the knowledge of the Supreme Lord. Only by devotional service he can be known, and not by any other means, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Yes. So there are two things here mentioned, that first of all, in order to enter devotional service, one has to be free from sinful reaction. Yeah. Yesham tvanta gatam papam janam punyakam. So tvanta gatam papam. His papam, his sin should be anta, should be an. He should stop sinful activities. And then the second thing that Srila Prabhupada mentioned, the mystery of understanding Krishna is only through devotional service. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. No other way. Yeah. So Ajam, Krishna is known as Krishna mentioned here, Aja means unborn. So we may ask question, if Krishna is known as the son of Devaki, then how he can be unborn? So actually, how Krishna appear in this material world is extraordinary. Krishna appear in his four-arm form. Yeah. When he appeared before Devaki and Vasudeva, he was not born as an ordinary child. He appeared in his original form, and then he transformed himself into an ordinary child. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada in his lecture he mentioned, so this Krishna consciousness process, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, will help you to understand. It will cleanse your dirty things from the mind, and therefore then you shall be able to catch up anything, to understand anything to do. One requires to be a little qualified. You see, unless such qualification. So this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, if you chant always 24 hours without any payment, so it will cleanse. It will cleanse your heart so that you will be able to analyze your position, God's position, the world's position, your relationship, your activities. Then everything will be nicely clear and illuminated. Yeah. So bhakti actually start from accepting the holy name. Etavan evalokesmin pumsam dharma parasmrita bhakti yogo bhagavate tanama grahana adivihi. So tanama grahana adivihi. Bhakti start from nama grahana. Accepting the holy name means chant the holy name. Yeah, and this process is Chetodharapana Marjanam. It's actually cleaning our heart. Yeah, this process means cleaning our heart. So Krishna is the source of everything. And how to know Krishna is through devotional service. And text 4 to 5, intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. So not only the whole universe, not only the demigods, but the qualities are also created by Krishna. Yeah. So all these qualities are manifest throughout the universe in human society and in the society of the demigods. There are many forms of human society. Sorry, there are many forms of humanity on other planets, and these qualities are there now for one who wants to advance in Krishna consciousness. Krishna creates all these qualities, but the person develops them himself from within. One who engages in devotional service of the Supreme Lord develops all good qualities as arranged by the Supreme Lord. Yeah, this fact is actually also confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam by Prahlad Maharaj, Yashyasti Bhaktir Bhagavad Kinchana. Yeah. One who performed devotional service immediately, automatically develop good qualities. So whatever we find, good or bad, the origin is Krishna. So Krishna is not only the origin of good, but also bad thing also. Krishna is the source. So all qualities, Krishna is the source. Yeah, even including bad thing. For example, like being rude in nature. Well, Krishna also possessed such a nature. When what is the name of that? Kalanami. Yeah, Kalanami. Krishna sent letter to Kalanami by saying that you are such a sinful frog. So that's like really harsh. Krishna mentioned that to Kalanami, you are such a sinful frog. You just need to go to a dark well, and inside that dark well, there is a black snake called Krishna, and this snake, Krishna, will kill you. So Krishna was very rude. So all good qualities and bad qualities also coming from Krishna, because Krishna is the source of everything. But we should not misunderstand that Krishna is influenced by bad quality, like how we do. No, because Krishna is transcendental. So he is completely untouched by bad qualities. He is transcendental. So now we will see Srila Prabhupada comment on each of these qualities that mentioned. Yeah. So intelligence refers to the power to analyze things in their proper perspective. This is called intelligence. Knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and what is matter. Yeah, complete knowledge. Yeah, understanding what is spirit, what is matter. And this is the basic of all knowledge actually, Sankhya philosophy. Yeah. And then asamoha, freedom from doubt and delusion, can be achieved when one is not hesitant, and when he understands the transcendental philosophy. Then kshama, tolerance and forgiveness should be practiced. One should be tolerant and excuse the minor offenses of others. So this is the qualities that we have to develop. Yeah, sometimes we may keep some resentment or some grudge in our heart, but as devotees we have to be forgiving. Yeah. Satyam or truthfulness means that facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. This is Satyam is one of the items of tapasya for the speech. Yeah. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chay swadhyaya vyasanam chayva vanmaya tapoch. So satyam is.
Okay.
Control of the senses means the senses should be used for, the senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. So engaging the senses. The mind should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings, and that should be presented authoritatively. So what is the necessity of human beings? What is the goal of life? What is the highest benefit of getting human being, human form of life? Ya kamashan indriya pritir labo jivetayavata jivasya tattva jigyasa nartho yacheha karma bihi. So there is no other purpose of getting human form of life other than jivasya tattva jigyasa, inquire about the absolute. Kamasya na indriya priti, not for the indriya priti, not for gratifying the senses. And then sukham, pleasure or happiness, should always be in that which is favorable for the cultivation of spiritual knowledge of Krishna consciousness. And similarly, that which is painful or which causes distress is that which is unfavorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Birth and death apply to one's embodiment in the material world. Fear is due to worrying about the future. Person in Krishna consciousness has no fear because by his activities he is sure to go back to the spiritual sky, back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, his future is very bright. Fear is caused by our absorption in the illusory energy. So fear, yeah, soka, moha, bhaya, paha, we are always influenced, we are always affected by soka, lamentation, moha, illusion, bhaya, fear. But yashyam vashruyamanayam krishne parama purushe bhaktir utpadyate pumsham soka, moha, bhaya. So soka, moha, and bhaya will be destroyed when bhakti is arise in our heart. So that's why Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, a person in Krishna consciousness has no fear. And then abhayam, fearlessness, is possible only for one in Krishna consciousness. Ahimsa means that people should be trained in such a way that the full utilization of the human body can be achieved. So ahimsa means to preach Krishna consciousness, according to Srila Prabhupada. Samatha, equanimity refers to freedom from attachment and aversion. Tushti, satisfaction, means that one should not be eager to gather more and more material goods by unnecessary activities. Yeah. Rupa Goswami explained atyahara, prayasa, prajalpuniyam. So atyahar and prayasa, first two things mentioned amongst the six, very, very significant. Yeah, being always satisfaction. Daya sarva bhutani santustya yena kenava sarvendriyo pasantya cha Tushyatyasu Janardana. This is the teaching of Srila Narad Muni. Yeah, that's Sarvabhutan. We should be always compassion to all living beings. Therefore, we preach. Yeah, that's ahimsa. Sarvabhutani santushtayena kinava. Always somehow or other being satisfied. Sarvendriyo pasantyacha. And then control of the senses. Tushyatyasu Janardana. So in that way, actually, Janardhan, Lord Krishna, can be satisfied. So simply by being satisfied with whatever Krishna gives us, accept. Tapas means austerity or penance. Whatever voluntary trouble one may suffer in this way is called penance. Because of his determination to make advancement in the science of Krishna consciousness, he should accept such bodily troubles when they are recommended. However, one should not fast unnecessarily or against Vedic injunction. For example, like fasting on Ekadasi, that's favorable for our advancement in Krishna consciousness. That's actually recommended, fasting on the day of Krishna's appearance or any incarnation of the Lord, or the Acharya's appearance or disappearance. We are fasting. So the purpose of that fasting is that to keep more time in engage in Krishna consciousness activities and to reduce the demand of the body. Yeah. However, unnecessary fasting is not at all recommended. Unnecessary tapasya is not at all recommended. Yeah. For example, like the Mayavadi sannyasi, they eat only plain dough, just plain dough without salt, without sweet, without sugar. So their life is so plain, but that's actually unnecessary. Our Krishna consciousness activities are actually full of taste, full of enjoyment. And our tapasya is to always chant and dance, hear more and more about Krishna Katha, eat only prasadam. That's our tapasya. Eat, sing, dance, that's it. As far as charity is concerned, one should give 50% of his earnings to some good cause. And what is a good cause? It is that which conducted in terms of Krishna consciousness. That is not only a good cause, but the best cause. Yeah. And that Yasa's fame should be according to Lord Chaitanya, who said that a man is famous when he's known as a great devotee. That is real fame. If one has become a great man in Krishna consciousness and it is known, then he is truly famous. One who does not have such fame is infamous. Text number 6. 7 great sages, and before them, the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descends from them. So Krishna is the source of whole personalities mentioned here. From Krishna appears Brahma, from Brahma appear Kumara, Rudra, Lord Shiva, and the 14 Manus and 7 sages. Yeah. Brahma is known as Pitamaha and the grandfather, and Krishna is known as Prapitamaha, the father of the grandfather, that is stated in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, we will see that later. So Krishna is the source of demigods and great sages. Text number 7, one who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. So one who convinced that Krishna is, why Krishna is explaining to Arjuna about his vibhuti here, because to convince people, to convince Arjuna that he is God, he is the source of everything. Then one who is convinced with that fact, so they will engage in Krishna's service. The highest summit of spiritual perfection is knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unless one is firmly convinced of the different opulences of the Supreme Lord, he cannot engage in devotional service. Generally, people know that God is great, but they do not know in detail how God is great. Here are the details. There are some of the opulences of the Supreme Lord when one is firmly convinced of them, he accepts Krishna with great faith and without any doubt, and he engages in devotional service. All this particular knowledge is required in order to increase one's interest in the loving devotional service of the Lord. One should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is, for by knowing the greatness of Krishna, one will be able to be fixed in sincere devotional service. Now, this statement is only for those devotees outside Vrindavan. Yeah, outside Vrindavan, because inside Vrindavan, although Krishna manifests exhibiting his opulences, the residents of Vrindavan, they simply know that Krishna is the object of their love, and Krishna is their child, Krishna is their friends. Yeah, nobody understand that Krishna is God, yet they develop love for Krishna so intense. Yeah, because they are the Ragatmika Bhakta. But devotees outside Vrindavan so need to be shown Krishna's opulence in order to convince them that yes, this is God. Yeah, yes, this is God. So when Arjuna, for example, Arjuna being so friendly with Krishna, so he's taking Krishna very lightly. But when Arjuna was shown by Lord Krishna his universal form, so immediately Arjuna bowing down. He was trembling. Now he's appreciating Krishna's position as God. So that was the first part of our discussion about Krishna as the source of everything. Now the Chatusloki of Bhagavad Gita. The essence of Bhagavad Gita is stated in verses 8 to 11. All Krishna's opulences are summarized in verse 8. By knowing Krishna's greatness, devotees develop love for him and engage in devotional service. Because their minds are fixed on Krishna, devotees always relish discussion about Krishna and cannot maintain their lives without him. When Krishna sees the devotees' great eagerness to serve him, he reciprocates by enlightening them from within their hearts. So this is verse 10 to 11. Okay, pure bhakti is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. So this is the first Chatusloki of the Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajanti imam buddha bhava samavita. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So this verse, 10.8, the first verse of the Chatusloki, contains actually the Sambandha, Abhidya, and Prayojana Tattva. Okay, let's analyze the Sambandha. Sambandha is the first two lines here. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate. Actually, these are the same thing. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. So Krishna is the source of everything. Mata sarvam pravartate, everything emanates from Krishna. So Krishna is just emphasizing things here. So he looks like repeating the same thing. Yeah, if everything comes from me, that means I am the source of everything. Or if I say I am the source of everything, that means everything emanates from me. Yeah. So that's the Sambandha. So we understand that we comes from Krishna. So what is our Sambandha? So Krishna is the source of everything, including the jivas. So Krishna is our master. We are the servant. So that's the Sambandha, master and the servant. And then iti matva bhajantimam. Those who know this, bhajantimam, engage in Krishna service. Yeah, bhajante, that is the abhidya, the process. Bhakti is the process. Buddha bhava samanvita, and bhava samanvita means with full love, yeah, their hearts. Yeah. Worship me with all their hearts. Bhava means emotion, bhava means love. So that's the prayojan, love. Krishna Prem is the prayojan. Okay, Krishna is the source of everything. All Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master with references from Vedic literatures engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness and becomes a truly learned man. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool who would consider Krishna to be an ordinary man. Yeah. This is already described in the 9th chapter, yeah, where Krishna mentioned that avajanantima mudha manushim tanumashita. Yeah. When Krishna descends in the form of human being, when Krishna says that manushim tanumashritam, it doesn't mean that he is human. No. But he appeared like a human, but he is not a human. For example, like when we play a drama, so we may take a role as elephant, as tiger, for example, and we are wearing a costume of elephant or a costume of a tiger. So we are just playing a role. We appear like a tiger, we appear like an elephant, for example. But we are not tiger, nor do we have elephant. So we are human. So similarly, Krishna also like that. When he mentioned Manushem Tanumasrita, Krishna descends in the form of human being, it doesn't mean that he is one amongst us. He's not ordinary human. So that's Krishna is the source of everything. Yeah, knowing Krishna's greatness leads to full surrender, and full surrender is followed by love. Yeah. So why we need to know about Krishna's opulence? Because that will lead to surrender. Oh yes, Krishna is God. And then surrender followed by love. Yeah. And text number 9, Machita Madgata Prana Buddhayanta Parashparam Tayantaschamam Nityam Tushyanti Charamam. So this is the process of bhakti. Machita Madgata Prana. That's the process of bhakti. So this text number 9 is the process. Kathayantas Chamam Nityam. Always engage in Krishna Katha. And then the result is Tushyanti Charamam. This is the prayojan also. Because the symptom of those who are engaged in Krishna consciousness is always being happy. So Srila Prabhupada once mentioned that if you are not happy in your Krishna consciousness practice, that means you are not practicing properly. Yeah, because the symptoms of a devotee is always happy. Yeah. Bhakti parishanu bhavu virakti, always giving satisfaction. Bhakti, giving satisfaction. So this is the symptoms of a devotee. Always, they cannot live without Krishna Katha. Pure devotees whose characteristics are mentioned here engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of Lord. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subject matter. This devotional service is just like a seed, and if it is sown in the heart of a living entity, and if he goes on hearing and chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, that seed fructifies, just as the seed of a tree fructifies with regular watering. Thus, the realized souls in Krishna consciousness take continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literatures, just as a young boy and girl take pleasure in association. Yeah. So this is the nature of Krishna Katha. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained, just like fish cannot live without water, so similarly devotee cannot live without Krishna Katha. Madasraya Katha Mrishta Srinvanti Katayanticha Tapanti Vividas Tapanaitan Madgata Chet. So this is the nature of devotees, always. Madasraya Katha Mrishta, taking shelter of Krishna Katha. Yeah. Nayad Vachas Chitra Padam Hare Yasu Jagat Pavitram Pragrimita Karaj. Devotees avoid that talk which is not glorifying Krishna. Tadvaya Samtirtan, because Prajalpa is just like garbage. Vaya Samtirtan means the place where the cross used to assemble. So garbage is the place where the cross used to assemble. So devotees doesn't relish that. Nayatra hamsa niramantu siksaya. So nayatra hamsa niramantu siksaya. So the swan doesn't like to be in garbage. The swan love to be in the clean water pool, yeah, with the lotus flowers. So that's devotees, always seeking for nectarian of Krishna Katha. Yeah. Prabhupada also give the example, just like young boy and young girl take pleasure in the association. So any boys, young girl, young boys, when they associate, they feel sense of pleasure. So a devotee, pure devotee, always taking pleasure in Krishna Katha. Yeah. So from bhakti, satisfaction. And the acharyas commented that the satisfaction is not simply derived when we attain the perfection, but also in the practice. Yeah, while we are doing it, in the process of being sadhaka. Yeah. So while in the sadhana bhakti, we experience the happiness, the satisfaction, and what speak of being in the level of sadhya or perfection. Yeah. Text number 10. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yinamam. Those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to. So in this verse, Krishna gives intelligence to his devotees. So there's reciprocation. So we are not doing something and Krishna just neglecting us. No, Krishna is always looking at us and he's ready to reciprocate. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada explained, Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this, therefore, the association of devotees and bona fide spiritual master are important. So this verse, Dadami Buddhi Yogam, Buddhi Yoga, in the first 6 chapters of the Gita, we have learned what is Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga is Krishna consciousness. When karma and jnana combine together, that becomes Buddhi Yoga. Yeah, karma means activity, jnana means knowledge. Yeah. So when we act on the base of transcendental knowledge, that becomes Buddhi Yoga. We are using our intelligence. So that's Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, it is very essential to be always in the association of devotees and taking guidance from a bona fide spiritual master. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain. So this is the secret here. Yeah, you don't have to become a great scholar to go back home, back to God. Simply by being sincere in your service to Krishna, the Guru. So Krishna will give the understanding by which we can come to him. Of course, Krishna reciprocates according to how intense our service is. Yeah, that's actually described in the 4th chapter. Yeah, 4th chapter, text number 11. Yeah. So devotees understand Krishna not simply by hearing, but also by his own revelation. Now, this is important, that without Krishna revealing himself, so we cannot understand Krishna. No matter how much we study, how much we hear about Krishna, if Krishna doesn't want to reveal himself, then he will not reveal himself and we will not understand about it. Therefore, Krishna mentioned, Ham Prakasa Sarvasya. I'm not revealing myself to everybody, but he chose to whom he wants to reveal himself. Yeah. And text number 11. This is the last verse of the Chatusloki. Tesamevanukam patam mahama jnana jam tamhanasaya myatma bhavastu jnana dipena bhavata. This is further reciprocation from Krishna toward his devotees. To show them special mercy, I dwell in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Krishna mercifully destroys ignorance. Srila Prabhupada explained, man can go on speculating for several millions of years, and if he is not devoted, if he is not a lover of the supreme truth, he will never understand Krishna or the supreme truth. Only by devotional service is the supreme truth Krishna pleased, and by his inconceivable energy, he can reveal himself to the heart of the pure devotee. The pure devotee always has Krishna within his heart. And with the presence of Krishna, who is just like the sun, the darkness of ignorance is at once dissipated. This is the special mercy rendered to the pure devotee by Krishna. So this is how Krishna reciprocates. Destroy the avidya. Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami explained in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that the root cause of our entanglement in the material world is avidya. Avidya is the root cause. From avidya, from ignorance, we commit sinful activities because we don't know. We don't know anything, just like a child who doesn't know that touching fire may harm the child because of avidya. So he touched the fire. Fire for the child looks always attractive. Something glowing looks attractive for the child, but that's harmful. So similarly, sinful activities, most of the sinful activities is actually enjoyable in the material sense. And we always being attracted to commit sinful activities. So due to avidya, due to ignorance, we commit sinful activities and then we are suffering. But if we surrender to Krishna, Krishna will give the shining lamp from within, and we get realization, oh yeah, actually, that's not supposed to be done. So I'm just putting some verses here which is connected to this verse. Yeah. For example, like this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Surya Shama Maya Haya Andakar, Jahan Krishna Mayara, Jahan Krishna Tahan Nahi Mayara Adhika. This also Krishna Swadamupagate. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is just like the sun. Kachit Kvalaya Bhakta, same thing. Srila Prabhupada said, so you have to know the techniques. Simply by theoretical knowledge, you cannot make any improvement. And these are practical examples because there is no love for God at the present moment. All this nonsense, universal love, fraternity, are going to hell. Therefore, we are interested in this Krishna consciousness movement. You have to change your consciousness, make it full with Krishna or God, then everything will be all right. Right? Thank you. Connected to our discussion that yes, we just hear many times that chant and be happy, chant and be happy, chant loudly and be happy. Yeah. But are we feeling ecstasy? Are we feeling happiness? So we have to contemplate back to ourselves that are we chanting loudly on a regular basis? Are we giving full attention while chanting? Sometimes we feel that our japa is tasteless. We don't develop taste for our japa. The problem is because we don't take it seriously. Yeah. So here Krishna mentioned Tushyanti Charamanticha. So experience it, try to experience it. And when we don't have the taste for Krishna Katha, then we have to contemplate to ourselves that something must be wrong. It could be some aparad, especially Vaishnava aparad, that's actually losing one's taste to chant the holy name, to hear Krishna Katha. And of course, there's so many other factors also. But keep going with our devotional practice that actually will give us a hope that one day we will realize, not simply theoretically, but we will realize it truly experiencing happiness. Yeah. So once His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj explained that actually he was asked by one person that why he joined the Krishna consciousness movement, and then why he has to undergone like so many difficulties in life just for the sake of Krishna. So because there is taste, there is rasa, there is happiness. Just like a person working so hard, but because he's getting the salary, so he's happy with that salary. So although he doesn't really like his work, but in Krishna consciousness, the process is blissful, and also the result is also blissful. Therefore, because there is taste, therefore we are doing the same thing every day. So Krishna consciousness activities cannot be compared to any material activities. For example, if you say that you love to eat pizza, but if you eat pizza 3 times a day, 3 times a day, every day. So after a few days, you will feel that enough is enough. But in our Krishna consciousness practice, every single day we get up for Mangalarati, we chant 16 rounds, we do so many services. We always feel that our bliss is increasing as we are performing it. Nacho Gau Bhakta Sanghe Kuru Sankirtan. So Srila Iswara Puri instructed Lord Chaitanya, Nacho Gau Bhakta Sanghe Kuru Sankirtan. Just chant, just dance, associate with the devotees and perform Sankirtan. So in that way, actually, we are feeling ecstasy. We feel the bliss. Otherwise, we may feel that our practice in Krishna consciousness dry, tasteless. So that's it for our today's discussion. The first part is that Krishna is the source of everything, and then the second part we talk about the Chatusloki of the Bhagavad Gita. The first Chatusloki talks about Krishna as the source of everything, yet Krishna touches the Prayojana also, and also Abhidya and Prayojana also touch in the first Chatusloki. And then the second one, Krishna talks about the process and the symptoms of pure devotee. Machita Madgata Prana, pure devotee makes Krishna Kata his life and soul. Text 10 and 11 talks about Krishna, how Krishna reciprocates toward his devotees by destroying ignorance, bringing them, giving them idea, Buddhi Yoga, Dadami Buddhi Yoga, giving them intelligence to come closer to Krishna. Sometimes we may face such kind of situation where actually we just suddenly come up with some idea. I remember when I was in Cambodia, so I never organized Ratha Yatra festival in my life. But when I was there, like there are only few of us, and we just try to do something, and many ideas just appear, and the Ratha Yatra was performed, was done. So Krishna gives intelligence from within. Krishna destroyed the ignorance. All right, thank you so much. Whether any comment or question, if there is no, I will stop here, and we'll see you on. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow again. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Shila Prabhupada.